Hi everybody, this is John Watkins. I hope you've watched part one of our series of videos on our Viking cruise around the British Isles. This is part two. In this part, we're going to cover our stops in Liverpool and in Belfast. We'll also cover our stop in Wales and tell you why we're not going to show you much, if any, video from there. But the first two stops were really pleasant surprises. Come along and we'll show you what we found. Liverpool is, of course, a city that is best known as the home of the Beatles, and there is a lot about the Beatles to find in Liverpool. But we found so much more. This city was probably the biggest surprise, the biggest pleasant surprise on our entire trip. This is the Anglican Cathedral in Liverpool, which is massive, one of the 4 or 5 biggest cathedrals in the world, and the biggest in the UK.
Literally just find yourself looking up at the ceiling and the stained glass.
It's not ancient. It was built in the building started in the early 20th century and took decades to finish it. And the fellow who designed the cathedral also designed the iconic British red phone booth. So there was, he designed the biggest building in the country and the smallest.
According to our wonderful tour guide John, this painting of the prodigal son parable in the cathedral may have served as inspiration for Paul McCartney to write The Long and Winding Road, based on the long and winding road in the painting.
I'll turn around and see some more. The cathedral, it has a gift shop and a cafe, much like St. Patrick's in Dublin. There seems to be a commercial aspect to these churches. I don't know how I feel about that. Probably not too good, but it sure is a magnificent building.
This is the best view of the exterior of the Anglican Cathedral I was able to snap from the tour bus. It is in remarkable contrast to the modernistic exterior of the Catholic Cathedral we visited next, with what tour guide John described as the rocky-like stairs you must climb to the interior.
This is the Catholic Cathedral in Liverpool, which could not be more different from the Anglican Cathedral. Look at that stained glass up there.
We traveled along the famous Hope Street, where we saw a permanent art exhibition of suitcases that are supposed to represent famous folks from Liverpool who have left to travel the world. We visited the Prince Albert Dock area, which has shops and restaurants along the water, and it's just a really nice place for people to gather. Of course, Liverpool is all about the Beatles. We drove by Matthew Street, where what remains of the Cavern Club is located. We visited an exhibit called The Beatles Story, which has some interesting memorabilia, but we found it very claustrophobic and crowded and would not recommend it. But others might like it. We drove along Penny Lane and visited Strawberry Fields, which is a real place. We saw a recreated gate that is supposedly the same as when John was a young man. We saw the home where John Lennon lived for most of his youth. We loved Liverpool, but were disappointed with the Viking Beatles tour. There are dozens of Beatles tours offered in Liverpool, so you might want to research them and book your own.
This is Belfast Castle, which is a building that's now used for public events. It's got a beautiful garden on a hill overlooking Belfast. Right now it is a beautiful day. Take it out a little further. Quite impressive.
The theme of the garden is cats, and there are 9 cats that you can look for in the garden. The flowers in the garden had reached their full summer glory, and the castle, as it is called, was just a beautiful place to visit.
This is in Belfast at the House of Parliament, which is quite a impressive structure. And then as we pan around, you can see down the walkway. It's just really something. And we got people in our group milling about. And here's a better view. Closer.
Numerous light posts on the driveway were a gift from Canada, and each light post features a moose to show its Canadian origin.
This is the so-called peace wall, part of it. It separates the Catholic and Protestant communities in Belfast. Unbelievable that they have. I just said that there have been some efforts to take it down, but both communities are kind of afraid to do that, I guess. This is Queen's College in Belfast, main building. It is right at noon. The light's kind of harsh, as you can see, but pretty building. Statue there. A little closer. Back out. There it is. And this is Belfast City Hall. It's noon, you can probably tell from the light flares. And there are just all kinds of people out here, apparently on their lunch hour. So it's a popular place. There's a memorial to the Titanic over on the side. It's quite poignant. A plaque with all the lives lost listed, and a memorial to the shipworkers who were on board, who went with the first voyage to kind of, take care of little issues, and they perished as well. Most of them, I guess, if not all. So it's worth seeing.
Here's the Titanic Memorial, and here's the memorial wall. And here's the ceiling inside City Hall, which really is quite magnificent. Belfast is, of course, best known for the Titanic, which was built by the firm of Harland and Wolff. There are many tours and exhibitions in Belfast on the Titanic. Viking offers Titanic excursions, but we did not take one.
Well, this is Holyhead in Wales. And recording this on the balcony of our room. I didn't record at the sites today on our tour because there just really didn't seem to be a very good opportunity. And Wales was an interesting country. I'd like to come back, but I'd probably do some different activities than what we did today.
The problem was that we booked an expensive 6-hour tour called the Vestiges Railroad Tour. Other than lunch, we were either on a tour bus or on the train for the entire trip. There was only one 5-minute photo stop, which I call Car Park in front of Castle. If you want to sit and see some of the country, this is a great tour. If you want to take photos, not so much. So there's not much I can show you.
Well, the inability to get much good video or photos from our tour around Wales was disappointing, but the stops in Liverpool and Belfast far exceeded our expectations. There's more to come. Keep watching. We'll see you next time.